It's time to announce July's die to try. I'm not fishing for compliments, but I happen to think this die is pretty wonderful, and I think you'll agree. Welcome to today's launch party. I'm Lynn Gibney, AccuQuilt's Chief Brand and Product Officer. I'm here with your hosts, Pam and Erica, to introduce July's Die to Try die.
It's going to be fabulous.
We're also celebrating Pam's happy birthday.
It's my happy birthday today.
Happy birthday.
All right, fishing for compliments, really. Way to drop the hint there, Gibney.
Yeah.
Well, I can't let you two have all the fun.
Oh, all right.
Besides, I need to head off and check in with our experts and make sure the trunk show is all in order, so I'll be back soon. Have a great show.
All right, we'll see you then. And off she goes to check with our experts for the day, Shannon Patterson and Barbara Harper, who will be joining us with their insights about this month's Die to Try in just a bit. But shall we announce it?
I think we should. Quilters, here is this month's Die to Try. Take a look.
Get ready to reel in a school of creative projects using the Go Flying Fish 9-inch finished block on board or bob die. This innovative die is designed to cut an entire 3-color block in just one pass through your cutter, helping you catch fresh new project ideas for this traditional block with ease. This die is on a 6x24 die board, making it compatible with any Go cutter, including the Go Me. Screen printed letters on the die board and specialized dog ears help make this block perfect for quilters of any skill level. Whether used alone or teamed up with a Go Cube or other bob dies, the Go Flying Fish die will help you construct stunning wall hangings, pillows, and throw quilts. Change the whole look of the block by setting it on point using the Go Setting Triangles 9-inch finish die. You'll soon see color is the key to devising a wide variety of designs from traditional to modern. While this block may look complex, the die will open up a sea of creative possibilities for anyone who can sew a 1/4-inch seam. Because at AccuQuilt, we want to help you cut time so you can quilt more. All right, quilters, we heard from some of you that you're interested in getting a new block on board or bob die. And quilters, this is such a fun and versatile die. I just love it. And here is a sample of one of the blocks.
Yes.
And Erica, we're going to talk in depth about this block and how you can kind of change things around, right?
Right. And what you can do with the pieces beyond just this block. So I love it. There's so many great things you can do with it, but I am getting a little bit ahead of myself. We both are, actually, because we're excited. The Flying Fish is a classic quilt block, but like so many of our classic quilt blocks, I think it really looks very modern, don't you?
I do as well, and you were talking about that, and I thought, oh yes, but look at that minimal color and space.
Right. It's all about color and space. So we want to take a look at the die board, and for starters, it's on a 6x24, here, well, there's your fabric. 6x24 die board. That means that you can make this 9-inch finished block with any of our Go cutters, including the Go Me, right?
Right. And the fun thing about this is, okay, so we're going to talk about the shapes. So this A is actually a 1/4 square triangle. We talk about the difference between a 1/2 square triangle.
These are 1/4 squares also.
These are 1/4 squares as well. There are no 1/2 squares on the
That's right.
die. So, but we talk about that, right?
Right.
Because it's important to lay that lengthwise grain parallel to these lengthwise blades. And we've screen printed it so that you can keep track of all of your pieces. So that brings up the question, what is a block and board or bob die? And it means that all the shapes that you need to create one block are on one die board.
Right.
Which is different than our cube. You're going to add different pieces.
Right.
And not only did we screen print things, but look, we have these great little specialized dog ears, especially on this shape D, which I don't know what to call it.
Oh, it's a chubby chisel.
Okay, we're going with that. We're going with that.
It's
All
a
right.
chubby chisel. But it's important to note that that is a directional shape.
Oh, yes, so you want to go back and forth. So we
Right.
have.
Well, it depends
Pam-
on how you want it to go.
Right. Oh, yes. So here's our chubby.
Forever, she's going to see that or hear that in her
Yes.
head.
So here's our chubby chisel. So we need a left and a right one for
Exactly.
this one. So I have prepped our fabric so we can go back and forth.
Okay. So, you know, it's important to note the shapes on your die because there's extra value in that, okay? So all of our bob dies, Pam taught me to take your shapes,
Yes.
mark what they are and the size that they finish to on the back of your die board. It's such a great tip because those are just extra shapes.
Right, because sometimes you're looking for a quarter square triangle and this doesn't exist in a
Right, maybe
cube
this size finish doesn't exist, so then
Right.
you've got new ones that you
Right,
can.
and chubby chisels for sure.
Yes.
And then squares.
Well, you could call them chunky.
No, I like chubby forever. I'm going to call
Okay,
it that.
okay.
Okay. All right, so should we lay out our fabric?
Yes, yes.
So you can always cut up to 6 layers of cotton fabric, but Erica has a fun little trick that we're going to show you. And I followed the pattern instructions and subcut my fabric. Now B needs some.
You need two different colors.
Right, so
this
see?
color and your background
They
in
are
this one.
quarter square triangles.
And quarter square triangles, you're going to know they're quarter square triangles if your tight lengthwise grain is on the long side, because in a half square triangle, that long side is going to be on the bias and it's going to have a lot of flexibility.
It is. Okay.
Okay, so
need a mat.
we need a mat and we need to make sure that that's a 6 by 24.
Right. But if you were just cutting chunky or chubby chisels, you would just use the 6 by 6 mat. I am going to make an entire quilt out of chubby chisels
Chubby chisels?
and call it that. A little
Chubby
wall
chisel
hanging.
quilt?
Chubby chisel wall
Just
hanging.
don't name it after me.
And I won't say that.
Although I feel like I kind of resemble those.
So it doesn't really matter.
Okay, now you may have noticed my die came out and it stayed flat because I'm using our Go Big die catcher over here.
Yay.
This is coming out soon. This is our Go Big die catcher. It's got a great metal lip that slides underneath the cutter. You can see on the back, it's got a little handle you can pick it up with, but it also can store laying out like this. And when you open it up, you can store your power source. You can keep your power source in there and run the cords through either end.
Because sometimes, Erica, I find myself trying to move that power cord around,
Well, yes.
right?
Yes.
So that I don't trip over it.
Do we not always need, no matter how much space we have in our quilting space, we always need more? Is this not right?
Eric and I are working on a project right now,
It's
and
taken over our homes.
our home, and I actually took over the living room, which I haven't done for a long time. So, all right, so we're gonna give it a little love. Static here in Omaha, Nebraska, and we're gonna slide that mat, don't lift, and we're just gonna pull back our little scraps. Here's our chubby chisels. All right, Erica, shall we build the block?
Build a block, build a block, build part of a block. So the block is made of 4 identical units. And kind of the fun thing is that you can rearrange how you lay those units out.
Okay. And it's really important to read the assembly instructions because how you lay out those quarter square triangles matters.
It does. It does.
Oh, see, I was gonna do it wrong right there.
Yeah.
But see, then this one goes right here, right? Mm-hmm. This one goes right here. Chubby chisels.
And then we left 2 nice little chisel spots open.
All of you forever. Listen, my post today is gonna be all about chubby chisels. Okay, so look at how cool that is.
Isn't that fun? Mm-hmm. It really is. Now, it's always a great idea to make a test block anytime you have a new Go die, but especially when it's a block on board die.
Right.
So you will find great block assembly directions on the packaging for this die. It's right here. Miss Pam's going to show us. But you can also find them available as a free download on AccuQuilt.com. Along with the block assembly directions there, you'll also get a coloring sheet that I love for planning out new blocks or projects. So
Right.
you'll want to go to the Dies product page, and then there's a little button for a download on that.
Now, if you're new to AccuQuilt, welcome. Thanks for joining us
Yes.
today. You may be wondering right now, what is a die to try?
Yes.
So let's talk about it. The Go Flying Fish die is part of our Die to Try series that brings you a special die the first Tuesday of each month, or because it's my birthday, it might be applique, a block and board, or project die, you just never know.
That's right. Now, these dies are often ones that have been frequently requested by quilters. Sometimes they have new or different features that we're kind of testing out. We start the month with a limited number of those dies, and they're available for just that 1 month or while supplies last.
And they're available directly through AccuQuilt or from your local AccuQuilt retailer. Now, sometimes the most popular dies come back later as regular dies, part of our permanent
Right.
collection, and sometimes they do not. So it's always a good idea to pick up the ones you love right away. And I have to say, so sometimes we know things, and we had seen this die previously, and we were kind of talking about it. And I had never seen this block before.
You know, it's very different.
But I'm loving it because I feel like I'm going to make it so modern.
Yes. Oh, there's
Excited.
so many options with this. And I found it, I got a new mug, a new water cup, and it has little quilt blocks, the classic quilt blocks on it. And one of them's the flying fish. I was so excited.
Who knew?
I went, oh, look, Pam, look.
All right, should we give one away?
Let's give one away.
All right, the first winner of a Go Flying Fish die is, drum roll please, Cheryl M. of Manorville, New York. Congratulations. Cheryl. Now listen, Cheryl, I'm going to send you an email that says, hey, send me your address, and I will send you a flying fish die.
There you go.
Okay. All right, I think it's time to welcome our experts.
Okay.
Shannon Patterson brings her experience with manufacturing to quilting, searching out efficient shortcut techniques to streamline the process while ensuring quality workmanship.
Shannon's quilting pursuits include machine piecing, long arm quilting, and machine embroidery, as well as English paper piecing and applique. And she loves traveling to visit quilt shops and shows around the country. She does it all, and she is so clever,
She
too.
is so clever.
Best ideas.
And then Barbara Harper is a gifted seamstress who learned to sew from her grandmother. She's experienced in garment sewing and alterations, just like Erica, and loves making costumes. She owned her Go for over 10 years and credits its accuracy with helping her create award-winning quilts. In her heart, Barbara is a dedicated teacher who loves passing along her knowledge of sewing and quilting to others and inspiring them to create. And I have to say, these two experts just always blow our minds, right?
They
when
do.
we see things,
They
we're like,
do.
oh.
They always come up with things that just send us over the edge.
All right, so speaking of that, Barbara, what have you dreamed up with our Go Flying Fish die?
Hi Erica, hi Pam. This flying fish is a fun bob to work with. It comes with so many shapes. I've got lots of quarter square triangles, larger quarter square triangles, even some chisels and some little squares. And it works with my 9-inch cube. Actually, I think it should be called 9-inch companion mini because it's 1/4 of the size of the elements in your 9-inch cube. So I started out and I made just a border. Wouldn't that be a beautiful border for my flying fish bob? I just think that would be so spectacular on a quilt. Then I moved on with shapes B and D. Remember, D is directional, so depending on which way you cut them, face up or face down, they're going to be going different directions. And I simply just attached B to D to come up with these little spinning blocks. 4 of these together make a 9-inch block. Then I played some more and I came up from my 9-inch cube, the square on point, shape 6 and shape 5. And then I made some little mini ones from the flying fish bob. I went a step further and found that shape 12.1 and C fit together perfect to make many square and points. So there's my square and point from my 9-inch cube, and here are 4 of those together to equal exactly the same size. It just brings so much more into being able to design elements. Last but not least, I've got shape D. Again, remember D's directional. I put shape 5 and 12.1 together to come up with these little blocks here. That's going to be a great scrap buster. Just imagine what all you could do with that. One more was shape B is a quarter square triangle, and I put shape 12.1 on the edge of it and made mini flying geese. So with that, I surrounded a 9-inch block. So here I've got my shape C's and B's with my shape 12.1, and I've got a glorified 9 patch in there. But look at all these different 9-inch blocks that might look really super with it. Can you see how that would make a chain effect? So I'm going to jump off here and I'm going to go make my project, and I'll be back in a minute.
Okay, I'm dying here.
Okay, in my quilting head, I think, oh, these things I could do. And then I watch Barbara and I go, oh, never mind. I could do other things. I love the whole flying geese and then
Yes,
put 9-inch
putting the
blocks in
9-inch
the
blocks.
centers.
So clever.
So clever.
All right. So we already talked about how you like to take that die and list out the shapes on
Yes.
the back of it, right?
Yes.
Okay, because we often find shapes that'll work. I have to admit, I got a little preview of what Barbara was doing so that I could make some little examples for us.
Yes, little step outs.
So let's take a look. Now, she had me thinking about taking things a step further because, you know, if these were on a cube, it would be a 4.5-inch
Finished.
finished unit 1.
And we don't have such a thing.
We don't have a 9.5-inch finished cube. We have a
No,
9
and
and
nor
a 10.
are we planning to come out
Nor
one.
are we planning one. So, but think about these extra shapes. So I cut some extra shape A's,
Which are here.
which are there. So if you bring that over, now seam allowance, remember seam allowance. But look how you, I mean, the fact that you can pop a pinwheel
Right?
into the middle of that,
Gosh.
you don't even see it when you make it with the white, but that totally changes everything, doesn't
Right.
it?
Well, okay, and I just love the fact that it is so versatile, and what a great way to use up your scraps.
Right. Or if you turned this and had it this way, you'd have a square in the middle.
Yeah. Okay, I'm loving that. Okay.
I'm loving that.
Now,
So,
great. And do you want to show some
okay,
others
so
before I
let's show
talk
some
about-
others. So she talked about doing things with, this is piece C, so this is the square.
Okay.
This is 12.1 that she was talking about
the
using
9-inch
from the
cube.
9-inch cube companion corners. Look how it makes a square on point that's a different size
Yes.
for us, right?
Yes.
She talked about making mini flying geese. Okay.
Wait. So if you took,
You could have a different size of square and a square and a square, right?
well, yeah, can I interrupt?
Yes,
Okay.
you already have,
I
so
know.
go for it.
Listen, it's my birthday, you have to talk nice to me. Okay, so look. So now we have a square and a square and a square, but wait. Oh, it's too big.
It's too big.
Okay, but do that.
So here is our shape B again, that little quarter square. And again, this is the shape 12.1.
Flying
She
geese
showed
for
us, so cute, so cute. So then she showed us B and D together, just making a different kind of spinny pinwheel.
I like this a lot.
Yes,
I like this a lot because we have lots of blocks that this could work with,
yes.
right?
So if you're doing, and think about using it for a border, wouldn't that be fun?
Or cornerstones.
Cornerstones, great for cornerstones.
Mm-hmm.
So here is that look, and then she did another one. So if you're playing with your chisels, here's
Your
a
chubby
couple of
chisels.
your chubby or chunky chisels. here's a couple of different looks. Look at this. Now, Barbara's was scrappy.
Yes.
I did mine with a solid. It makes it very modern. But you could totally do it scrappy as well. It would be a great scrap buster.
Okay, so this just brings out all sorts of things about our companion sets and how we should be able to utilize those as well.
Now, if you're wondering about that 12.1, right? Our very first companion sets.
Yeah, came out, they were called
Yeah.
classics.
Right.
And they had shapes, you're just fine right there, Jill. It had shapes 9 through 12. 9 and 10 were the chisel and the signature block, just like they are today in the companion corners. But the original shapes, 11 and 12, were the 2 shapes you need to make drunkard's path blocks. Well, we retired our classic sets and released corners with different shapes, 11 and 12, but we didn't want there to be confusion. So they're 11.1 and 12.1
Right.
in all the cubes.
Right.
So don't be confused.
Right. So we're going to do a little cube math with 9-inch
too.
finish blocks,
Okay.
okay? So our 9-inch finish cube, shape 1, is going to finish to 4.5 inches because we know that 4 of shape 1 is going to give you your finished block, right?
Correct.
So shape 2 is the smaller square, takes 4 of them together to equal 1 of shape 1.
Right. And then shape 3 is a large half square triangle. So 2 of them sewn together equal shape 1. The cube system, all the shapes are the same in every cube. They're just different sizes.
Right.
Shape 5 is a small half square triangle, so you need 8 of them to make shape 1. Now here is where Barbara was so clever. Shape 12.1 is also a half square triangle, and 8 of them together will equal the same size as square as 2 of shape number 5.
Right.
She just blows our minds.
So by combining those smaller elements with this bob die, that's how she made those mini elements that she was talking about. And she took those shapes, created different blocks, genius.
It's fabulous. All right, I especially love how she made borders or sashing using the mini square on point and that flying geese. But you know that leads us to creating one of my very favorite units and blocks of all time, square and square, which we just showed you how to do it.
Right. And another idea that you might want to do is to cut out some felt shapes
Yes.
and use those. And I was going to mention that earlier, but we got all carried away with our...
Well, we got too excited about
We
talking
got too
about all the things.
excited. We just got too excited. So now that we've kind of gone over some of the math, don't forget about those little flying geese. For those of you, it would use again shape B and our friend shape 12.1 for that. And that was this little sample there.
Yeah, ooh, sorry, just gotcha. All right, so I love this idea of cutting them out of felt because then you can reinvent the block.
Right.
And you can use them out of whites or pinks or whatever colors.
Right. I just cut it in 3 colors to play with a little bit. So it's a fun way to do. And again, she did that border. Oh, you need a square. Okay, but let's do this, then put this over here so that it makes like a square.
Oh, yeah, right here.
Yeah.
That's super cool. And then I love these little half square triangles because,
Quarter square.
sorry, because you can build this.
Oh, you know what? I just got to, yes.
Okay, all of you who have children and grandchildren who are
Yes.
home this summer, get you some felt, get you some craft foam, cut you a whole bunch of pieces, and let your kids make blocks.
That's a great
I think
idea.
I should have Oakley over and let her make quilt blocks.
Oh,
She
yes,
would love it.
absolutely.
And then the way you can remember what they did, you can take pictures, and then they can help you sew blocks.
So block, make a quilt. All right.
We're going to talk about how other bob dies can work with ones coming up. But I just have to call out how Barbara used these elements from the flying fish to create the amazing borders for any 9-inch block.
Around my glorified 9 patch and others.
It's your favorite, right? Yep.
All right, all these great ideas, you're starting to see all the value that's packed into this die, but I want to hear what clever ideas Miss Shannon has fished out of her quilting brain. Shannon, what have you come up with so far?
Hi, quilters. I love block on boards. I was so excited to get this particular die to work with. Beyond what's happening on the back, there's so many things that you can do, and it all revolves around the color placement and the way you're turning your blocks when you put them together. You do not have to use all 4 of the units to build the 9-inch quilt block. You can take those and do whatever you want with them. In an example here, those half square triangles, pinwheel, just as easy as that. Then you've got quarter square triangles, squares, and the chisel. All of these things come together to be worked into other shapes and other looks that you can accomplish. What I first did for my inspiration was opened up my EQ8 and started turning the blocks around to see what I could accomplish. I got a little patriotic, as you'll see here. That's with the Flying Fish Go block on board. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? It looks so complicated, but it went together so quickly. Then I got a little fall, just like that. They're so cute and so quick to put together. And this block really sews up very easily. Then I've never done this. This is outside my comfort. I'm a traditional quilter, but I created this scenic version that I feel like if you look really close, you can see a sun, mountains, a lake with fish in it, and then the close-up area, a very pretty scenic pattern here. Probably not going to go this way, but I do have an idea of something that I want to do, so I'm going to go back to my sewing room and get to stitching. So I'll be back.
So clever.
Okay, I love the fact that she uses EQ8.
Yes.
For those of you who aren't familiar with EQ8, it's a design program for quilting, and we have it available on our website.
Right.
And we have a block library, is that the word?
Right.
That allows you to purchase.
Right. But this actually is a block that is already in that EQ8 library.
See,
now,
there you go.
this is a design software that we sell. EQ8's different from Go Quilt. Go Quilt, which is free on our website, is a color design tool that uses existing patterns. So EQ8 is for designing your own blocks, your own patterns. Go Quilt is for coloring patterns in different colorways. So when you see our trunk show of samples in a little bit, when Lynn brings those out for us, if those aren't your colors, or if you just want to play, because it's pretty fun to play with.
Pretty fun to play
You
with.
can go in and you can change up the colors to whatever you can dream up. It's really fun.
And we just want to point out that Shannon is brilliant, but there are only quarter square triangles on this die. She said
Yes.
half square triangle, but it's okay. I made the same mistake.
That's right.
All right, so a quick reminder that we have Lori Miller's block libraries. Hi, Lori Miller, for EQ8 available for purchase on our website, as well to make it easy to design your own projects with our bob dies. All right, and Shannon did play with color, and that brings us to the other reminder that you can change the season of any quilt just by changing the fabric.
Yes. She also worked with turning pieces different directions to create different designs, and we touched on it earlier.
Right.
But this die is so great to team up with other 9-inch finished blocks to create different looks.
Right.
Now there's a Go Big Square 9.5-inch cut, 9-inch finished, to add more negative space to your quilt.
Oh, yeah, so
And-
like you could alternate blocks.
Right, you could alternate. It would open up some applique space, but there's a lot of other great bob dies that finish to 9 inches as well,
Okay, she's thinking of her favorite glorified 9-patch, right?
which we did see.
We did. Think of some others like Cross Canoes or Lemoyne Star. One of my favorite is Starry Path. I like those a lot.
Yes, and you saw also, Barbara pulling some of those out as well.
She did.
Now, of course, we have to talk about setting blocks on point because it changes everything. So
Okay,
let's
so I'm
take a
gonna
look at our, here, I'm gonna just
We're gonna move our
sweep
stuff
our
away.
felt and
There we go.
all off to the side.
All right, so here is how the block works. And here, let me just grab while we do that. You
Okay,
talk
so
and
this
I'll
is the
grab.
block set flat. And we talk about it, this is pretty traditional. This is how you're gonna sew your rows together and all. But if you take this block and you turn it, we call it on point, that means it's living on a pointed end like a ballerina slipper, right? So when you do this, you then open up space here and here, if this is the edge of your quilt that you need to fill in. Now, once upon a time, we did complicated math, or we simply, cut a big square and lopped it off.
Yes, that is what Eric and I did.
That's what we used to do, we admit it. But
I have found
those setting triangles fill in that space, and it keeps your tight lengthwise grain on the outside.
Let's talk about, see, I have a whole box.
So you can do a couple of different things. You could take and just put the corners on it
No wonder I didn't get it.
and make it maybe a pillow cover, just one block. That would be super easy, super quick. Oh, but you could team it up with some partners. And then, again, those setting triangles are gonna fill in that space so you're not lopping off your block in the middle of a design. The butterfly.
I forgot about the butterfly.
Yes, with the flying fish, the butterfly, we've got flora, we've got fauna.
We do, and this is one of our favorites. This is one that Barbara had out.
Yes.
So this is a great way to kind of, maybe you have some orphan blocks. We keep all of our blocks together by
Yes.
size.
Yes, we do.
And that way we can pull them out. But this is a great way to kind of use some of your orphan blocks and then use our setting triangles so you don't have to, so the grain works right.
Yes. Now we're going to leave this one right here, like it was the corner of our quilt. And there's another die that we haven't brought up yet, but it's going to work perfectly with this, and it's called the Go Sea Life Medley. So we can add some fishies to the mix.
It is pouring down rain.
It is. So if you hear
If you
that,
hear that,
we are getting so much rain.
so much rain in Omaha
And
today.
shout out and best wishes, and we're thinking of you to all of those people dealing with flooding in our area.
Yes, Nebraska's having terrible floods. All right, so this is the Go Sea Life Medley. And this is super fun because it has a crab and a fish and a seahorse and a starfish, and then an eyeball.
Yes,
I
yes.
love it a lot. And this is an applique shape. Remember, all of our applique dies come with free embroidery download.
Yes, and we've got samples of them over there. So if you can grab that big stack
grab
of
that?
things. Yep.
Okay.
So we have, no, leave it my box.
Oh,
Leave my
sorry,
block.
sorry. We have a square. Do you want a
No,
square?
no, I want this one.
Okay.
Because look at this. So we've got it set on point, we've got it set flat, but what about adding a seahorse bobbing around?
Yes.
Add
Look
a
at how
seahorse.
cute
This
that
is the satin stitch. So those free stitches are going to include a satin stitch, a motif stitch. Here's a different stitch. It's also going to have there's the satin stitch and the motif stitch again in the starfish. That
Look at
would
how
fit
cute that
perfectly.
is.
Isn't this cute?
I
Or
love that in the center.
You could put a fish
with a blanket stitch.
with a blanket stitch in the middle. Fish on fish, fish inside fish.
Yeah.
And I don't seem to have the crab here in the free,
okay.
but it's there. So you get a blanket stitch, a satin stitch, and a motif stitch for each one of the shapes with that free downloadable embroidery, so a great added value. But our friend from V-Stitch has also got a Go Sea Life Medley embroidery set. So these are a little bit more complex. So there's
This
the
one has
seahorse,
bubbles.
little bubbles and more details. Here's our crab,
There we go.
which again fits perfectly inside this block, right?
That is so darling.
So cute, and that's a decorative flat stitch. We've got our seahorse, just different, so many different designs, little different
I
details.
love the fabric there.
I do too. I like the purple one.
Yeah.
Here's a little bit more detailed, but those are great.
So think about making, while you're on the website getting the Go Flying Fish, if you don't have Sea Life Medley, you should grab one.
Now I've got one other thing to show you because I found my sample that I had made of this. So when you use the embroidery, whether it's the free embroidery or the others, it's going to give you a placement stitch.
It is.
It's going to stitch out just a straight, just a basic straight stitch in the outline. If you just use that and then stop it after that, you can use that to quilt your project.
You can.
So you can see what it looks like here. I've got my sandwich here, and I just did a sample of the seahorse. It kind of pops it up. So think about that. You wouldn't even have to actually applique it. You could go back and quilt it into the
Right.
center of that block
Right.
as well, which would be super fun.
Well, and a customer taught me that years ago, and I thought that was just brilliant. So you could do it with any of our applique shapes. You
Right,
could use that
right.
little placement stitch.
But think about just,
Look at how cute
just
that is.
quilting that starfish into the middle of those blocks, or the fish into the middle of the blocks. Super fun.
Okay. I'm loving
I'll
it all.
give you that one.
All right, but there's some other ways to add fish that we got a glimpse of from Barbara.
Yes.
She made one using the Drunkard's Path combined with some cube elements and a border on two sides to get it to finish to 9 inches.
Right. She also made one from the Go Cube Mix and Match and the Companion Angles Corner. And so I'm pretty sure people can think up other options, don't you?
So many ways to create fish from their cubes and their flying fish as well. So I think we should give away another Go Flying Fish die.
Well, that is a good plan. The next lucky registered quilter to win a Go Flying Fish die is, drum roll please, Evelyn C. of Panama City, Florida. Congratulations. That's fantastic.
I feel like it's meant to be.
It's meant to be.
All right, it is time to see what our experts have dreamed up. I can't even imagine what they've done because based on what their samples were. So Barbara, let's see first what you came up with.
Well, I'm ready to go fishing. I've got my favorite fishing hat, I've got my pole, my net, and my tackle. I just needed a blanket to set on at the pond. And so I came up with what I call Go Fish. I used the new Flying Fish Bob and a lot of other 9-inch elements. Starting out with the 9-inch finished square, I used shape 1 from my 9-inch cube. I made some 9-inch grandmother's fans to make my center fish, and then I used the Flying Fish Bob to make some fish. So I hope you enjoy it. It's about 45 by 45, perfect to set on at the pond.
That is so cute.
Super cute. And I love the fact that she used grandmother's fan because I was looking that in our little
In our box of nines.
box of 9s. And
Oh yeah,
look,
Yeah.
grandmother's fan is
grandmother's
part of the
fan.
fish.
Make
All
a fish
right.
out of that. All right. Now let's see what Shannon's created for us today.
Well, quilters, the design I came up with and what you see here is what I'm calling saltwater taffy. I really like the way the colors came together. I've got that design in the middle and then outlined. This is something that I put together in a weekend. So if you have a party to attend for a gender reveal or a toddler birthday, I think this might do the trick. I hope you like it.
Okay, that was so brilliant.
Yes.
And she was super cute. She's like, oh, I just made it over the weekend.
Well,
'Cause they
it
were
would
just
go
super
together
simple.
really quickly. I have to tell you, quilters, this block goes together really, really nicely and very quickly.
It kind of looked like envelopes.
It did kind of look like envelopes.
You could do in Valentine colors and then applique a little heart on the back so they
you
would look like
could.
Valentine.
You could. But think about it. It was just a very clean design. It would be
Yes.
great for a graduation gift, for
a housewarming.
a housewarming, for a boy, a girl, a baby quilt, almost anything.
All right. Well, I'm blown away by both of our final projects, but we have some pretty great projects waiting in the wings. And shall we get our trunk show started?
I think that's a good idea. Hey, Lynn.
Can she hear us over the rain? It is
I don't
pouring
know. It
down
is
rain.
back to pouring. It stopped for like 30
I
seconds.
have to give you both, the whole team, kudos for, it is so, raining so loud right now. It's
So loud.
hard to hear anything.
All right, so this is Go Skipping Waves Throw Quilt by our good friend Amanda Harward of Larkspur Quilts. And she used Riley Blake Designs fabric. And not tomorrow because we're off for the 4th, but on the 10th, this is the project we're going to make, and we're celebrating Christmas in July.
Yes.
So we're going to do it out of Christmas colors. I think it's going to be super fun.
So she's set it on point, and you can tell she's popped out that pinwheel She's used those setting triangles and then just a little border around the outside. This would, seriously, you don't think it looking at it, this would be a weekend project.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just the setting triangle and the 2.5-inch strip.
Yeah.
That's it.
And in my quilting head, I thought these were different blocks, but they're just different colorways.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Isn't that beautiful?
it really
And
is.
I like the waves that she did on it.
Yeah, the quilting is really nice. Also, points for a
She
sleeve.
put a sleeve on.
Sleeve
Good job,
and
Amanda.
Use some of that extra fabric up.
That's good. That way
Sleeve
when
and a tag.
on Wednesday we can hang it.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
I love this one.
All right, the next thing we've got is a pillow. It's the Go Twist and Turn pillow cover by Lissa LaGreca of Lovingly Lissa. I love this ombre look.
So pretty.
Well, and again, super just simple blocks, right?
Yeah.
Make a pillow, just get yourself started. I think it's just so pretty.
So basically, she looked at that quarter block unit and just did her colors that way.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, this block is very versatile. I
Yes.
mean, I was watching all the great ideas from both of you and our experts, and I mean, I'm truly inspired.
Yes.
I hope everyone else is too.
Yeah, this is fun.
And this is a great way to start using our bob dies. Just make a pillow.
Yeah,
Right.
Absolutely. I think even if you're learning to sew or
Right.
you know you're a beginner, this is a great project to start with, and you
Right.
get this amazing final project from it.
Right.
Right.
So this one's great.
That one's fun. All right, what's next, Pam?
We have the Go Fishin' a Line Throw Quilt by Susie Webster of Webster Quilts. And this one is so fun for 4th of July.
Yeah, perfect.
It is.
And it has stars on it.
Yes.
So this is just a really great way of taking those blocks and positioning them to make alternate designs,
Right.
which kind of look like poppers, right?
They do. Yeah.
Firecracker
Yes,
poppers.
firecrackers. Yes.
But you could also do it in Christmas colors so it looked like Christmas candy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I know.
I do think it looks like, especially here in the corners, it looks like a piece of like a piece of candy.
Yeah,
Piece of candy. Yeah.
You could do it in Halloween fabric and make Halloween
absolutely.
candy.
Okay.
All the
Now
days.
we know what she's going home to do
All
later.
the days. Yeah, look at that.
Quilting is stunning too. It's so fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. All
Susie
right.
did a good job.
And
All right,
then
Erica, what's next?
We've
Because I
got
think it has yours.
one more. It's the Go Catch the Sun Wall Hanging. It's by Terry Vandenbosch. She's Lizard Creek Quilting, and she's used Island Batiks. And this is so fun.
Oh.
And she used my Glorified 9 patch.
Right there in the center.
And the reason I love that die so much is because it just plays so nicely with its friends, doesn't it?
Well, and look at this. Here's that flying fish block in the center, and
It
then the
frames
circle
it.
around it. And
Yeah.
she quilted it in orange.
And the way she's laid it out, it almost looks like sashing on the sides. It's just yummy.
Yeah, I agree with you. The Glorified 9 patch makes the blocks that it's set with the star.
Yes.
Even though it is the star.
Yes.
But yeah, it's wonderful, and the colors are wonderful.
They
And the
really
batiks are beautiful.
Yeah, very, very nice.
It
Great
does look
island
like
batiks.
summer.
It does.
Yeah.
It feels good.
It's sunny and summery, and I love that she put that bright orange binding on it because it really makes it pop.
Yeah, pulls it together.
All right, Lynn, I can't even imagine, but which project are you going to take?
I don't know. It's so hard.
Yes.
I think I'm going to take the first one. I love these colors, and
Those are
yeah.
great
really
colors.
inspired with.
You know, those are
they're
very,
all wonderful, though. All the projects today.
aren't those Pantone colors kind of close
Well,
to?
and this is, yeah, the
the
salmon
year?
and red and the aqua. There's that cute fabric you could make crabs out of. I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it had words on the white, and then I was going to have
could.
to take.
It does have,
lint.
no, it's like
just like
stitches.
stitching.
Oh, it's like stitching
Yeah,
marks, all different
super cute.
stitches.
All right, Amanda did a great
I love
job.
that
All right, I'm taking this one.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Add to your pile.
Have a great
Took
rest
one
of the
with
show.
a sleeve on it.
I know. And she'll probably have to put it over her head to get out to the car because
Yeah.
it is
It's
pouring
pouring
down.
down rain.
Oh, here, but wait.
Oh.
Keep talking.
Okay, well, Pam and I, of course, would never take things, but I know where she's going. She's getting the fabric mailbox so we can see what Andover Fabrics has sent for us to give away to a couple of you lucky registered viewers today.
Okay, this is super
Just in time for the 4th of July. Let's look.
And listen, quilters, I'm all about having 4th of July stuff up the whole month of July.
And
I love
into
patriotic.
August,
Yes.
because this is so fun.
Look, stars
Oh gosh,
and
this is just a
stripes.
quilt waiting to happen.
It is, and really fun with the flying fish. Because you could totally make it scrappy and then just use the white.
But I believe our friends from Andover intended us to give this away.
Apparently so. All right, so we will stop petting the fabric and pick our winners.
Yes.
So our first registered viewer winning a bundle of fabric from Andover Fabrics is, drum roll please, Trudy O of Gilbert, Arizona. Congratulations.
Congratulations. And this, all right, we've got one more winner. The second lucky winner of a lovely fabric bundle for the 4th is, drum roll please, Joyce S. from Gosnells, Washington.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Gosnells?
I don't know where Boston is.
I don't either.
Congratulations to our winners. Be sure to look out for an email from me to get your address to ship your fabric.
There you go.
And a huge shout out to Andover for sending such amazing fabric for us to share with our quilters.
All right.
All right, quilters, we have tons of great deals in celebration of my birthday available on our website, including, listen, one day the code has to be Pam's birthday or Pam's B-Day.
It never
It never has been. No one cares.
We
It's
don't
okay,
even
I
need
do
a code.
care.
We
No,
don't even
it's
need a
just
code.
tons of value on there. And don't forget, when you're ordering the Go Flying Fish, there's an option to order it with a free mat.
Yes, there's
Order
a
it
bundle
with
that
the-
has a free mat.
Order it with the free mat. It's our pro tip.
Yeah, yes, that's our pro tip for the day. Now, to get your order in, you need to open a new tab in your browser, type in accuquilt.com/party. It's going to take you right to the site, and you can place your order. Now, remember, this is a die to try, so it's only available for 1 month or while supplies last. And I think this is going to be one heck of a popular.
Oh, I think it is as well.
These fish are going to fly.
All right, and it's only available from accuquilt.com or your local AccuQuilt retailer.
Right.
All right, now quilters, we're giving you a big heads up. Tomorrow is July 3rd.
Yes.
We will not be here for AccuQuilt Live on July 3rd.
That is correct.
Because we're going to be off Thursday and Friday. So we're
Yes.
just taking the week
We're
for my
just
birthday.
taking a little break.
Oh, and the 4th of July.
It-
But we will be back July 10th
Yes,
for AccuQuilt Live, and we're going to be making Amanda's project.
yes.
Me and Chris will be here. All right?
Celebrating a little Christmas in July magic at the same time.
And I'm thinking I'm wearing a Santa hat
Oh,
because it's Christmas in July.
you may be a little warm.
I guess. I don't know. It's raining. Who knows? All right, quilters, it's time for Eric and I to get ready for our next show. We hope you get dozens of ideas from great projects just flying through your quilting head.
See you next time.
Thanks for watching our show. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel and look for live events every Tuesday and Wednesday.
You can visit the events page on AccuQuilt's website for more details on upcoming shows. And while you're there, check out the blog for tips, tricks, tutorials, and inspiration galore,
And remember, at AccuQuilt, we help you cut time.
so you can quilt more.
Be sure to join me every Wednesday at 12 noon Central Time for AccuQuilt Live. Remember, tomorrow we're taking off for the long holiday weekend. But next week, Chris and I will be using the Go Flying Fish to make a Christmas in July project. Be sure to join us.
And join us right back here Tuesday, July 16th at 12 noon Central Time as we celebrate Christmas in July by introducing 2 new project dies that you are going to love.